Michael Jackson Leaving Neverland documentary, Part 2 on Channel 4. What time is it on TV? What is it? Everything you need to know about the Channel 4 and HBO film in which two men accuse the singer of sexually abusing them as children. Leaving Neverland is a new documentary which aims to expose Michael Jackson as a manipulator and child sexual abuser. The film features graphic accounts from Wade Robson and James Safechuck, two men who allege they were groomed and sexually abused by Jackson from the ages of 7 and 10, respectively, with much of the abuse alleged to have happened at Jackson's Neverland Ranch in California. Here's how to watch it, who features in the film, a summary of the past and present allegations against Jackson and what director Dan Reed had to say about the documentary. Leaving Neverland airs in two 90-minute episodes over two consecutive nights at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, 6th and Part 2 following on Thursday, March 7th on Channel 4A. In the US, the film has already aired, broadcast on Sunday 3rd and Monday 4th March on HBO at 8:10 p.m. ET/PT. Following Part 2, Oprah Winfrey conducted a TV interview titled After Neverland, with the documentary's two accusers Wade Robson and James Safechuck. While the Channel 4 version is 3 hours long to leave space for adverts, the HBO release had a running time of 4 hours. Channel 4 has not. Leaving Neverland features detailed and graphic accounts from two men, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who allege that Michael Jackson sexually abused them when they were children. It tells two separate stories, from the perspective of the two boys and their families, beginning with how each first came to meet the King of Pop. The film, the documentary concludes with their reactions to the singer's death, and their decision to go public with the allegations and how their lives have changed since then. Leaving Neverland is made by BAFTA-winning British director Dan Reed, who has had a prolific career with documentaries including 3 Days of Terror, the Charlie Hebdo attacks, The Pedophile Hunter, Terror at the Mall, Dispatches, The Battle for Haiti, and Terror in Mumbai. Speaking about the conception of Leaving Neverland, Reed recalls how he and then Channel 4 commissioning editor Daniel Perla are talking about the big stories out there in the world which weren't quite resolved and people sort of knew but didn't really know the answer to, and Michael Jackson was one of them. Wade Robson and James Safechuck are the two people at the center of the documentary. The film also in interviews with the boys' mothers, Joy Arabson and Stephanie Safechuck, the two women question their own decisions to let their son sleep in Jackson's bedroom for long periods of time. At one point, the bravest thing in the film was the mothers coming forward, admitting what happened, says Reed. Explaining how they were totally beguiled by Jackson, his fame, and the access he gave them, Reed adds, "You see Stephanie's face light up when she talks about meeting Harrison Ford and the champagne and all this stuff. They're still split between all the good things that happened through their relationship with Michael Jackson." Only members of the two families are interviewed in the documentary, but archival footage and photographs feature Jackson himself, his lawyers, actor Macaulay Culkin and Jackson's former wife Lisa Marie Presley, among others. Wade Robson was living in Australia when he met Jackson after winning a dance competition. He claims to have. James Safechuck met Jackson when they filmed a Pepsi advert together, and alleges that the singer sexually abused him from the age of 10. Both men have previously testified in Jackson's defense in court. When other allegations were brought against the singer, both testified during his 1993 case, and Robson again appeared in court as part of his defense in 2005, but it wasn't until Robson had a son that he felt compelled to confront his experiences of abuse and go public in 2013. Safechuck did the. Robson went on to become a successful choreographer who worked with Britney Spears, NSYNC and many more, while Safechuck, a former musician, is now a computer programmer. Safechuck and Robson both allege that Jackson abused them in his various homes, including at the Neverland Ranch in California. The Neverland Ranch was Jackson's home and private amusement park, and was named after the imaginary island in Peter Pan. The sprawling estate In 2003, police arrested Neverland Ranchahile investigating charges of child molestation that had been brought against Jackson. After HBO announced Leaving Neverland's premiere date, the Michael Jackson estate sent a 10-page letter to the broadcaster's CEO denouncing the film and branding it as one-sided and sensationalist. The estate also labeled Leaving Neverland a disgrace, saying the fact that HBO and its producing partners did not even deign to reach out to any of these people to explore the credibility of the false stories Robson and Safe Chuck told violates all norms and ethics in documentary filmmaking and journalism. It is a disgrace. A full copy of the letter has been published by Deadline. In response to the letter, HBO said in a statement, "Our plans remain unchanged." The two-part Yes, there is. Here you go. Jackson has been publicly accused by 5 people of child sexual abuse. The first allegation came in 1993, when Evan Chandler accused Jackson of abusing his 13-year-old son Jordan. The case was settled. In 2005, Jackson was charged with abusing 13-year-old cancer survivor Gavin Arvizo. The singer was formed. During the 2005 trial, Jason Francha, the son of Jackson's housekeeper, testified that Jackson had abused him when he was a child. In 2013, Wade Robson, who had testified in defense of Jackson during the 2005 trial, alleged sexual abuse. And finally in 2014, James Safe Chuck filed claims against the Michael Jackson estate, alleging sexual abuse. Wade and James met for the first time during the Jackson years, explains Reed. While Jackson was the first time they met after that was in 2014 when they met at the law firm Wade had gone to make his claim against the estate. When James joined, so Sundance was the first time they met properly as adults and hung out together and spent some time together. They get on really well. Reed says Jackson's image of himself as a Peter Pan character who loved to surround himself with children and bask in their innocence was disguising something that was very different. He was very manipulative, very deliberate in his grooming and in his sexual activities with these children that took place over many, many years. The director predicts more people have shared Robson and Safe Chuck's experiences of abuse by Jackson, although he's unsure whether they will go public after seeing the documentary. "I don't think Wade and James can be the only ones, because Jordan and Gavin have come out in public, and also the son of Jackson's chambermaid Jason Francha has gone public, and I believe there are many more," said the director. Will they come out or not? I don't know. On whether Jackson's music should be boycotted, Reed adds, "I wouldn't get behind a campaign to ban his music. I don't think that makes any sense. Is this a time to? I think it's a time to acknowledge the man he was, and he's also a brilliant entertainer. Maybe those things." While Reed did not interview Jackson's family, lawyers, or fans for the documentary, he says their views are represented through archival footage within the film. "You can see how much space we've devoted to Jackson's rebuttals and his lawyers' rebuttals at the time when there were allegations made against him in court and in the media," explains the director. "I think we've devoted ample time to that and ample time to people who, when Wade came out in 2013, were very skeptical and denigrated him and generally said unkind and skeptical things about him. I think we've to my knowledge, the estate hasn't changed its view since 2005 when the criminal case finished, so they still maintain that Jackson was not a pedophile, and that's the point of view we've represented in our film." Michael Jackson fans protested at the screening of Leaving Neverland at 2019 Sundance Festival, and Reed has also described the backlash he has received on social media. "My message to them? Leave me alone. We've had probably thousands of emails and there's been a lot of stuff on Twitter as you'd expect. There are probably tens of millions of Jackson fans out there. Anyone who's stood up in favor of the film has been deluged with abuse. That's coming from a tiny minority of Jackson fans, and I call them the MJ cultists. They're part of the MJ cult, they're uncompromising, they won't listen, and their knee-jerk reaction has been to denigrate and hurl abuse at children who were raped by Michael Jackson, and I don't think that's a very good look. Especially in No one's surprised by the virulence of the response, but we have to put it in context. The victim is not, yes. In the build-up to leak, using a group of contributors, names confirmed yet.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.